First up, the US government has told China-based Bytedance to sell its shares in the blockbuster TikTok app or face national ban. Western powers, including the European Union and the United States, have been taking an increasingly tough approach to the app, citing fears user data could be used or abused by Chinese officials. Concern ramped up earlier this year after Chinese spy balloon was shot down in US airspace. The White House last week welcomed a bill that would allow President Joe Biden to ban TikTok. We have Raksha live with us. Raksha, this is obviously a major escalation by the White House. The Biden administration is demanding that a Chinese-owned TikTok be sold, or the popular video app could face a ban in the US.
Yes, that's right, Radhika. Absolutely. In fact, over the past few months, we have seen growing concerns across countries related to fears of Chinese app Bytedance, Chinese company Bytedance own app TikTok. There's a fear of data being stolen from different countries via users to Beijing. Now, amid all of these security fears, there was a Chinese spy balloon that was spotted in the US, which kind of accelerated this entire fear of national security concerns. Now, what we are seeing right now is, of course, US has already banned TikTok from being used on work devices issued to all sorts of government workers. But now it is also saying that there should be a ban on TikTok across the country. Now, there is a Senate bill and the backing of the White House, which accelerated the political momentum against TikTok, but it is also a target of a separate piece of legislation in the US House of Representatives itself. There are according to a journal, it is the ultimatum to TikTok came from the US agency that was charged with assessing risks of foreign investments representing national security. Now, I must also add that time spent by users on TikTok has surpassed the amount of time spent on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter in the United States, and is about to also sort of surpass the amount of time people spend on Netflix, which is also a big growing concern in the United States of America, because maximum user base of TikTok right now is from America, especially US teenagers, and this does pose a big security threat because there are fears. And I must also remind our viewers that this is the only one of the rare issues where a bipartisan bill can be expected to pass in both the House, which is run by Republicans, and the Senate, where it is the Democrats that have a majority.
All right, thank you, Raksha, for all those details. So, Biden government warning Bytedance sell TikTok or face national ban is what the US government is saying. We, in fact, have Anuj Agarwal, who is a Chinese app expert, joining us on the story. Thank you, Mr. Agarwal, for joining us on the show. My first question is, of course, US wants TikTok to be sold or it will face a ban in the US. What is your analysis? Is this, according to you, the best way or the best solution to address concerns about national security and China accessing US data and so on?
See, this is the way forward, I think, for most of the geographies, because, for example, we in India are not able to control any app. We are banning them, but they are still operating. Or if they are appearing in different names, and the data is being shared, especially the data of children, data vulnerable section is continuously being shared in China and other geographies, and India is not able to control. Similarly, in US, where the data privacy and protection is very, very strong, people are very well aware about their rights, and the governments are not able to stop the transfer of the data unless they get the jurisdiction. Because the companies, if they are registered, if they are keeping their data in different jurisdictions, it is very, very difficult for them to have a control on the data. So they are trying to take control by asking companies to get registered and have ownership in their own jurisdiction. So I think this is one of the best ways for the US to really force this company to be a US company so that they can control the data flow better.
Mr. Agarwal, TikTok spokesperson has, however, said that a divestment doesn't solve the problem. A change in ownership would not necessarily impose any restrictions on data flows or access. So that's what the TikTok spokesperson had to say, that this wouldn't really address the issue of national concern, and it won't necessarily impose any new restrictions on data flows or access.
No, this is little misplaced. You see, it may not immediately make this as mandatory for them to keep the data within the jurisdiction. But if there is a complaint against them from an affected party, the US law enforcement will have better access to their policies, better access to their data, and they can restrict data flow. So the law enforcement agencies will have a better control, and they will be able to investigate and impose fines, or maybe take the matter for the trial in the courts, and the courts can punish those people who are misusing that data by taking it out of the country. So it is some kind of an indirect control which will immediately take place if the ownership is local. If the ownership is also abroad and the data is also abroad, it becomes very, very difficult for the local law enforcement officers to act, and local courts to really impose any fine or penalties, any kind. It becomes very, very difficult. So it is indirectly going to be in the hands of the US law enforcement. On a complaint, they can investigate, and then obviously they can punish the erring company.
All right, thank you, Mr. Agarwal, for joining us with your thoughts. You're saying that this is a welcome move. So US is trying to take control of the app so that they can have a local jurisdiction over this by having the ownership in their own jurisdiction, or something which is a welcome move, is what you're saying. Thank you for